And evidently, Harry has fallen in love with someone who I don't want to say lives in Montecito or near Montecito because I don't want you know what it's like. If you say too much, you might give away.
Ultimately, the Queen felt betrayed by Harry. And when he and Meghan attacked the institution that she spent her whole life serving in the Oprah interview, that betrayal was complete.
So, something unexpected appears to be unfolding around Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, as Lady Colin Campbell's latest claims have sparked intense reactions among royal watchers. The story has raised fresh questions about Harry's private life and the growing speculation surrounding his relationships.
It's really hard to look back on it now and go, what on earth happened?
You hear that? That is the sound of hearts breaking all around the world.
She's becoming a royal rock star.
And then,
While some believe Lady C's claims are simply rumors, others think there could be more behind them. But what exactly did Lady C reveal about Harry's alleged new girlfriend?
The worst examples of an industry that too often behaves as though it owns people's privacy and feels it gets to decide what constitutes the public interest.
And why has Meghan reportedly been left furious?
For this to be our love story, and you know, I'm very lucky. I am married to the funniest, sweetest, most charming, I mean, he's all the things that you're describing.
Could Lady C know something the public doesn't? So, what do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. To help us create more videos and uncover the latest royal story, please subscribe. So, this is where the entire story begins. According to claims circulating online and attributed to Lady Colin Campbell, Meghan Markle was reportedly furious after allegedly discovering messages on Prince Harry's phone involving another woman, generating fresh speculation about their marriage, Harry's loyalty, and what may have happened behind closed doors. The claim has immediately attracted attention because the alleged relationship was described as more than an ordinary friendship. The woman was reportedly around Harry's age, and the messages were said to suggest that Harry had developed strong feelings for her. That would obviously create a serious problem for any marriage. But there is one important detail that should not be overlooked.
what was hard to get over was being blamed for something that not only I didn't do, but that happened to me, and the people who were part of our wedding going to our comms team and saying, I know this didn't happen.
The identity of the alleged woman has not been reliably confirmed, yet the story has continued to spread. Why? Part of the reason may be that the allegation has landed in the middle of an ongoing conversation about Harry and Meghan's relationship. For some time, commentators have pointed toward what they describe as an increasingly separate lifestyle between the couple. Harry has repeatedly traveled back to Britain without Meghan, while Meghan has continued building her own career, attending events, and developing projects independently.
It's hard. You know, I don't think anybody could understand that. But in all fairness, I had no idea, which probably sounds difficult to understand.
Their professional lives have also moved in increasingly different directions, creating the impression that the couple may be spending more time apart than they once did. None of that proves that their marriage is in trouble, but it does explain why this latest allegation has captured so much attention. The mystery woman may not actually be the beginning of the story. Instead, she may simply be the latest claim added to a relationship that has already faced years of public speculation, criticism, and questions about how closely Harry and Meghan are still moving in the same direction, and that makes the timing especially interesting. Why did this particular rumor suddenly gain so much attention? Was it simply because of the dramatic claim about messages on Harry's phone, or did people react so strongly because they already believed something had been changing between Harry and Meghan behind the scenes? Before we can understand the alleged discovery, we have to look at the events that may have created the suspicion in the first place. Lady C claims that Meghan is furious after discovering Harry's alleged new girlfriend. But what evidence did she use to support this allegation? Is the evidence strong enough to justify such a claim, or is she reading too much into the situation? Let's uncover the complicated details: Harry and Meghan's separate lives. Now, this is where the story becomes much more complicated. The claims about another woman did not suddenly appear out of nowhere. They emerged after months of public discussion about Harry and Meghan appearing to lead increasingly independent lives. Meghan has been busy building her own identity outside the royal family. She has worked on business projects, appeared at public events, developed media opportunities, and continued shaping a career that is increasingly separate from Harry's. Harry, meanwhile, has remained focused on causes close to him, particularly the Invictus Games, while also dealing with ongoing legal and security issues connected to Britain. And sometimes, their schedules seem to tell two very different stories. Meghan has attended major events without Harry. Harry has traveled back to Britain without Meghan. They have also increasingly appeared to pursue professional opportunities separately, giving critics plenty of material to question whether their once highly visible partnership has quietly changed. Of course, none of this automatically means their marriage is in trouble. Two people can be married, love each other, and still have completely different schedules. Public figures often travel separately, attend different events, and build individual careers. So it would be unfair to treat every solo appearance as evidence of a relationship problem. But critics see a pattern. They point to separate professional brands, different public projects, separate social media identities, and Harry's repeated trips across the Atlantic. To them, these are not isolated events, but signs that Harry and Meghan may be spending more time moving in different directions. There has even been speculation that the couple could consider something like a vow renewal as a way of reinforcing their relationship and reminding the public that they remain united. Those claims help explain why the alleged discovery of secret messages has become such a powerful talking point. When people already believe a relationship may be under pressure, an allegation involving another person can quickly become much bigger than the original claim. And Harry's continued connection to Britain makes the situation even more interesting. Why does he keep returning to the country he once left behind? Is it simply because of his legal and security concerns, or could there be something more personal pulling him back? That question becomes even more intriguing when we look at the woman who came before Meghan. Harry's frequent visits to Britain without his family have given room for speculation to grow. But what could have kept Meghan so busy that she didn't travel with her husband? Could there be a project demanding more of her attention than Harry's company? Or could Harry simply prefer traveling alone? Let's find out. Harry's consistent return to Britain. This is where the contrast becomes difficult to ignore. Harry may have left Britain behind when he and Meghan stepped away from royal duties, but his connection to the country has never completely disappeared. His ongoing security dispute has been one reason for some of his trips, yet his repeated returns have attracted attention for another reason. Meghan has generally not been traveling with him. Harry has spoken about wanting Meghan and their children to visit Britain, but those family trips have remained difficult to arrange. Instead, Harry continues crossing the Atlantic, returning to the country where he grew up, while Meghan remains focused on building a life in California. And Meghan has certainly been busy. She has pursued commercial projects, attended major events, developed media opportunities, and continued shaping a personal brand that increasingly stands on its own. More and more, she appears at public engagements without Harry, while Harry handles his own commitments separately. Couples can have different careers, separate schedules, and individual responsibilities without their relationship falling apart. But critics see a pattern. They point to Harry's frequent trips to Britain, Meghan's independent projects, their separate professional identities, and the growing number of occasions when they appear to be living very different public lives. Supporters may simply see two busy people managing separate careers. Critics, however, wonder whether Harry is slowly reconnecting with the country and life he once chose to leave, while Meghan remains determined to build her future in America. And that possibility makes the latest mystery woman allegation even more interesting, because before Meghan, Harry had another serious relationship with Chelsea Davy. a woman who reportedly understood the pressures surrounding his royal life, but ultimately chose not to become part of it. That history gives the current speculation an emotional backdrop. If the latest claims about another woman are completely unfounded, then perhaps this is simply another rumor surrounding a heavily scrutinized couple. But if there is any truth behind them, could Harry once again be drawn towards someone who represents the freedom and independence he reportedly valued before? Or are people simply connecting old pieces of Harry's past to a story that has not been proven? That is where the mystery really begins. Beyond the belief that the reason Harry traveled to Britain should have had Meghan by his side, yet she remained behind pursuing what she felt was more important. What kind of life was Harry living before Meghan entered the picture? Could he be craving that lifestyle again? And can Meghan give him what he may be longing for? Let's find out. The woman that once had Harry's heart. Now, this is where the story becomes much more personal. Long before Meghan Markle became part of Prince Harry's life, there was Chelsea Davy. Harry and Chelsea reportedly shared an on and off relationship that lasted for several years. Their connection appeared very different from the royal relationships the public had become accustomed to seeing. Chelsea was independent, comfortable with her own life, and reportedly had little interest in chasing the attention or status that came with being connected to the royal family. And that may have been exactly what Harry liked about her. She reportedly treated him less like a prince and more like an ordinary person. Their relationship was filled with good moments, but it also faced the enormous pressure that came with Harry's position. The cameras were always nearby. Private moments could become headlines. Arguments could become public stories. Even ordinary trips could attract attention. For someone who valued freedom and privacy, that kind of life could become exhausting. People familiar with their relationship have described Harry as deeply attached to Chelsea. But eventually the pressure surrounding royal life became difficult for both of them to escape. Harry has since spoken about how strongly he believes media intrusion affected his personal relationships. He has described becoming suspicious of people around him and struggling with the feeling that his private life was constantly being watched. Eventually, Harry and Chelsea went their separate ways. But then came a moment that made their story almost impossible to forget. Chelsea attended Harry's wedding to Meghan in 2018. Imagine the scene. A woman who had reportedly shared years of Harry's life was sitting inside the chapel, watching him marry someone else. Whatever emotions Chelsea may have felt that day, her presence represented the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. And that history matters now because of the latest allegations. If Harry really were developing feelings for another woman, could he be searching for the same sense of freedom, privacy, and emotional connection that he reportedly valued in the past? Or is that simply a convenient theory being built around an unverified rumor? Perhaps the alleged mystery woman has nothing to do with Chelsea at all, but the comparison remains fascinating, because Harry's romantic history suggests that when love collides with royal pressure, privacy, and public expectations, the outcome is rarely simple. So, if Chelsea gave Harry the kind of life he reportedly desired, yet they never ended up getting married, could Meghan's presence now be making him reflect on that freedom and lifestyle again? And to what extent is Meghan focusing on her personal life and career while balancing her marriage? Let's uncover the intriguing details. Meghan's growing independence. Interestingly, the biggest clues may not come from the alleged mystery woman at all. They may be hiding in plain sight, in the way Harry and Meghan have gradually built increasingly separate public lives. Over the past few years, Meghan has focused heavily on her own business, media projects, appearances, and personal brand. Harry, meanwhile, has continued developing his work around the Invictus Games, polo, philanthropy, and other causes that have become closely associated with him. Even their online presence has moved in different directions. They have developed separate social media identities, promoted different projects, and frequently appeared at events without each other. Couples can build individual careers while remaining completely committed to each other. In fact, having separate interests can sometimes be healthy, but the repeated pattern has created a powerful public impression. Commentators have increasingly described Harry and Meghan as two people who appear to be building separate worlds while still sharing a marriage. Then there is another part of the conversation that cannot be ignored. Some critics have accused Meghan of having too much influence over Harry, claiming she controls his decisions, public appearances, or even the way he presents himself to the world. Those opinions have become part of the larger story surrounding the couple, especially because Harry has repeatedly faced questions about how much of his current life reflects his own choices. At the same time, Harry continues to show a strong connection to Britain. The country he once left behind still appears in his legal battles, public statements, family concerns, and frequent visits. That has encouraged speculation that he may be experiencing homesickness or even reconsidering some parts of the life he walked away from. And this is where the alleged phone messages suddenly become more interesting. If Harry is increasingly drawn back toward Britain while Meghan continues building an independent life in America, could the alleged mystery woman simply be a symptom of deeper issues rather than the cause of their problems? She could simply be another piece of a much larger picture, because sometimes a rumor does not create suspicion. It simply gives people a new reason to look at what they were already wondering about. So, if Harry consistently visits Britain while Meghan continues building her independent life, could it suggest that his mind is drifting away from the marriage he is still in? Could the history of what happened to his parents repeat itself in his own marriage? Or will Harry eventually understand what his father experienced before his parents' divorce? Let's find out. Comparison of Harry's situation to his father's. Now, this is where the story takes an even more unexpected turn. The discussion surrounding the alleged affair did not stop with claims about secret messages or another woman. According to a recent report from the news, reporter Maureen Callahan offered her own interpretation of Lady Colin Campbell's remarks, suggesting that the bigger issue may be what has changed inside Harry's feelings toward Meghan. Callahan reportedly interpreted the claims as meaning that Harry may no longer be madly in love with Meghan, and possibly that he has reached a point where the feelings that once seemed so strong have changed. That is a much bigger claim than simply saying Harry may have been texting another woman, because if Harry's feelings have really changed, the alleged mystery woman may not be the cause of the problem. She could simply be a sign that something inside the marriage had already shifted. The report also highlighted another detail from the discussion. The alleged woman was described as being around Harry's age and in the Montecito area. The suggestion was that she would understand the unusual pressures surrounding Harry's life, including wealth, privacy, status, and the attention that comes with being connected to the royal family. But perhaps the most striking part came when the conversation turned toward Harry's father. Callahan reportedly suggested that Harry may now understand something about King Charles that he could not fully appreciate when he was younger. What it feels like to remain inside an unhappy marriage while living within what can look like a privileged but highly restricted world. That comparison is particularly powerful because Harry has spent years discussing the painful history surrounding his parents' marriage. So, according to this interpretation, could Harry now be experiencing his own version of that emotional conflict? Or is that simply another dramatic theory being built around an allegation that has not been independently proven? Either way, the comparison adds a completely different layer to the story, because suddenly the question is no longer just whether Harry has another woman. It is whether he has reached a point where he looks at his marriage and sees something he once promised himself he would never repeat. Here's what happened. The allegation surrounding Harry's secret affair has drawn comparisons with King Charles's past relationship with Camilla, making the story even more striking. But what other perspective makes this allegation so compelling? And what could Harry's feelings for another woman mean for his marriage and his future? Let's dive into the details. The center of a much bigger mystery. Now, this is where everything starts to come together. According to claims attributed to Lady C, Meghan Markle allegedly discovered messages on Prince Harry's phone that appeared to suggest he had developed a close relationship with another woman. The allegation goes further, suggesting that the woman is around Harry's age and that the connection may have become emotional rather than simply friendly. Meghan was reportedly furious after allegedly finding the messages, turning what might have been a private issue into a story that has now attracted enormous public attention. But there is an important line between an allegation and a proven fact. There is currently no reliable public evidence confirming the identity of the alleged woman, proving that the messages exist, or establishing that Harry has been unfaithful. Still, the allegation has gained momentum because it appears to connect several storylines that have been circulating about Harry and Meghan for years. Harry continues returning to Britain. Meghan continues developing her own career and public identity. Their schedules often take them in different directions. Their professional lives have increasingly developed separately, and commentators have repeatedly questioned whether the couple remains as closely connected privately as they once appeared publicly. Then there is Harry's complicated relationship with the life he left behind. He remains connected to Britain through family, legal matters, and personal history, even after making the dramatic decision to build a new life in America. Put all of those pieces together, and the alleged phone discovery suddenly becomes much more dramatic. Because the central question is no longer simply, who is the mystery woman? It becomes something much bigger. Could Harry genuinely be developing an emotional connection with someone outside his marriage? Or has an unverified rumor become powerful simply because it fits the story some people already believe about Harry and Meghan? And if Meghan really did discover something unexpected on Harry's phone, what would that mean for a marriage that has already faced years of public pressure? The mystery may not be about who the woman is. It may be about what this allegation reveals about Harry and Meghan themselves. Beyond Harry's actions, which some believe suggest that he may be emotionally distant from Meghan, what is the current state of their relationship? Are people reading too much into their public lives? Or could the signs point to deeper issues that may eventually affect their marriage? Let's uncover the complicated details. What Harry and Meghan's future looks like when all the pieces are put together, this story becomes about much more than an alleged new girlfriend. For years, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have lived under an extraordinary level of public attention. Their relationship has been examined from almost every angle, from their decision to step away from royal duties to their move to America, their relationship with the royal family, and the very different professional paths they now appear to be following. According to claims attributed to Lady C, Meghan allegedly discovered messages on Harry's phone involving another woman. The alleged discovery reportedly left Meghan furious and raised fresh questions about Harry's emotions, the nature of the messages, and whether his attention may have shifted towards someone outside his marriage. There is still no reliable public evidence confirming who the alleged woman is. Yet the mystery continues to capture attention and fuel intense speculation. Why? Because people are no longer looking at Harry and Meghan the way they once did. Harry continues returning to Britain, the country he once chose to leave. Meghan continues developing her career and public identity in California. Their professional projects increasingly operate separately, and their public appearances often take place without each other. None of that proves their marriage is ending, but it does explain why an allegation involving another woman has created such a strong reaction. Perhaps Harry is simply trying to handle the pressure of a complicated life, while the alleged mystery woman may have been completely misunderstood. Maybe the supposed messages never existed at all, leaving the entire story built on speculation rather than proven facts. Or perhaps the rumor has touched on something deeper that neither Harry nor Meghan is prepared to discuss publicly. That is what makes this story so difficult to dismiss completely, even while the central allegation remains unproven, because sometimes the most powerful part of a story is not what has been confirmed. It is the question people cannot stop asking. If Meghan really did discover messages suggesting that Harry had developed feelings for another woman, would that mark the beginning of the end? Or could it simply be another dramatic chapter in a marriage that has already changed far more than the public realizes? And perhaps the biggest question of all is this: if Harry is genuinely looking back toward the life he left behind, what does he really want his future to look like? So, what do you think about Harry's alleged secret girlfriend? Could it be real, or is the rumor being exaggerated? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.